Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the CKC channel. I'm your host, Calvin Klaassen. And welcome to another reflection show. Usually we don't have one on Tuesdays, but for this special Heritage Day, and seeing that we're all off today, we decided to have another edition just for you. And we've got a very special guest this evening as well, all the way from Mauritius. Lyndon will tell you more about him. If you're new to the channel, if you're watching, if you might be from Mauritius, all the way from Mauritius, or anywhere else, if you are new to the channel, please just remember to press the follow button if you want to chat in the chat box. If you cannot press the follow button, just go to the Twitch homepage and just sign up very quickly. It's quick and easy. It's for free, absolutely free. And then you come back to the CKC channel and just press the follow button, and you're all set to ask these gentlemen questions in the chat box. So and this evening we will also do a nice game analysis afterwards. So if you've been yearning to get back onto the chessboard as well, we've got a very interesting game afterwards as well. So I think that's about it. Please don't forget to leave your questions in the chat box. Since we are doing some game analysis, the interview will be slightly shorter than the last two episodes. So don't forget to leave your questions in the chat box. And maybe after 20 to 25 minutes, we will give time for those questions in the chat box. All right. So without further ado, let's move on to... where are we now? Without further ado, let's move on to the interview side of things. And welcome, Lyndon and Patrick. Lyndon, over to you.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everybody, and good evening to Calvin and to the viewers. We've got a very special guest, a friend of chess and of South African chess also. His name is Candidate Master Patrick Li Ying. And Patrick and I know each other since the early 1990s when South Africa first started to play chess. And Patrick was one of the first players to welcome South Africans back into the international scene. Patrick, welcome, and thank you for agreeing to be on the show tonight.
Good morning. Welcome to everybody, and thank you, Lyndon and Calvin, for giving me the opportunity to share this session with the viewers.
So, Patrick, one of the things that we'll be doing is going through your CV, and I'll be asking you questions from your CV. And for me, I'm going to ask it directly to you. One of the fantastic things on your CV is that you've been the Mauritian champion 7 times, and there was a 27-year gap between the first time you won and the last time you won. Tell us a bit about that, Patrick.
Yes, I started playing chess, I would say, in the late 1970s, okay? And I won the junior championship in 1981, okay? And the first time I started to participate in the, the national championship, it was in 1984, and I came 4th. At the time, then something happened. It's that 1985, the current champion, Richard Parfait, he immigrated to Australia, okay? And one of the former champions, Lal Mansour, passed away. So there was some kind of vacuum in the chess community in Mauritius. And as I was one of the top juniors at the time, I won the first championship, my first title in 1989, okay? Then I started to win like 5 championships in the space of like 10 years, I think, 5 championships. Then there was I would say that there was a lull because I was a bit tied up with my professional duties, okay? And then also there was the arrival of Roy Phillips, a very strong player who has Mauritian nationality. He was UK and both Mauritian nationality. He plays his chess in UK, and so he has a very strong background, I would say, compared to the locals. Then he was a top player, but since he was there, I managed to win the championship twice, in 2004 and 2016, my last 2 championships. When it was very committed. The last championship, it was a really like you say, a 27-year gap, which is quite a record. I don't know if this record will be beaten one day. I had one of my best performance in the seventh and last championship in 2016. I made 8.5 out of 9 games. But as it was so tough to win the championship, even if I made this big score, I had only half point ahead of Roy Phillips. So I realized that it would really it asks me too much energy, too much focus on chess to still be to win another championship. That's why I decided when I won this 7th championship, I retired from active play, local play.
But Patrick, seven is a lucky number in some cultures. So well done on your 7, because those 7 championships also allowed you to play for Mauritius at the Olympiads. And I've noticed from your CV that you have played for Mauritius at the Olympiads 117 times. How does it feel to be a centurion during the Olympiads?
Oh, I would say that my first Olympiad was in 1990 in Novi Sad, and it was a really fantastic experience. I think that, like all athletes who, when they start athletics, they want to at least participate one time in their life to the Olympic Games. A chess player also should aim to play for his country, to participate in the chess Olympiad at least once in his lifetime. That is a fantastic feeling. I've been very lucky to play 10 times for my country, and it was always really like something that I'm very proud of it. I played 117 times. I think if I had just a little negative score of, I think, plus 43 win, 29 draws, and 45 defeats. The last game that I lost was against Andrew Kayonde, the international from Zambia. It was a very nice game. If I had won against Kayonde, it would be like a 50% score. So I'm very proud of having like hold on my own in these games. It was not like just participating and getting crushed and beaten like that. I have, upheld, I have flown the flag, country's flag, I think, as high as I could. I mean,
and Patrick, you've played on board 1 4 times. How is it different to play board 1 for your country at the Olympiads as opposed to, let's say, board 3 or 4?
Oh, yes. Board 1, I think the first time I played board 1 was in Novi Sad, Yugoslavia in 1990. I remember, when I was a champion of Mauritius at the time, and I think that in a whole calendar year, I would lose only 1 game. And in the Olympiad, when you're playing board 1, I lost 3 games in a row. It was quite a psychological shock for me to lose 3 games in a row. But now this kind of level that you were playing, that's something that you become humble. That you need to accept that you need to learn that what your level is still low compared to even if you're a champion in your country. That was a very, really humble experience, I would say, that I have learned from the first.
Well, we know that at the Olympiad, it's entirely possible to lose 2 or 3 quick games, but the important thing is to keep doing your best. Patrick, one of the things that was interesting to me is, tell us a bit about how you studied your chess in the 1970s and the early 80s. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, when I started, I think when I started learning chess, it was like self-learning. I have never had a coach like people now have professional coaching. It's just self-learning. I think the first book that really attracted me to chess was a book by Irving Chernev. Irving Chernev is a very famous American Russian. And I think I saw the game Paul Morphy against Duke, Brunswick. It was a fantastic game that really attracted me to chess. And when I got hold of the book from Chernev, Logical Chess Move by Move, that was one book really that made me progress, because you didn't need to have a coach with this book. It explained all the moves one by one. You could learn by yourself from this book. This is a very important book in my chess career. When I started having this book, then At the time we didn't have whole wave like a magazine like Europe Check, British Chess Magazine, Chess Life. It was very expensive for us students. So I think that I had an uncle who was living in Swaziland. Okay, was Swaziland in the 1975. He was working Swaziland, South Africa for I think 25 years after that, and he used to be a subscriber of the South African Chess Magazine. I think I have a copy of this green booklet here.
The small green
Yeah,
ones.
this is one. I think it's 1 rand at a time. That's fantastic price now. And he used to send me all the magazines when he come to Mauritius every year. That's how I started to follow chess. And my chess heroes, I would say that were the South African from apartheid era. This guy like Frank Korstensky, David Walker, Charles de Villiers, Jack Salikoglu, David Walker, Donald McFarlane. I remember all these guys because they had a level of chess that was around 2,300, which was more than enough for me to learn from them. And every time I got this magazine, I replayed all the games that were in the magazine. And I think that this helps me to upgrade my chess to elevate my level of chess. That was one of the things. Then of course I joined a chess club. Okay, a chess
Okay.
club. This was a Mauritius Chess Player Association. I was the only junior of the club, and there were 3 or 4 top local players from this club. And after 1 year, I was a junior at the time, and after a 1 year apprentice, I started to play in the Chess Federation, Mauritius Chess Federation tournament. And my first tournament was a Mauritius Junior Championship of Mauritius, which I won in 1981. That's how it started for me.
Well, I'm glad that South Africa has assisted you and by extension Mauritius in your chess development as well, Patrick. So I mean, we're very glad that we were able to help you as well.
Yes, and if I may add, I was very emotional when I came to the Cape Town tour in 2003. The Mauritius South Africa chess tour when we came to Cape Town when we played in the Claremont Chess Club, because I knew about Claremont Chess Club in tournament open in this magazine, and when I saw the board of honor with all these names of the champion of the club, that's really was something very emotional for me to see, because it was something that have been brought up with these South African players.
No, it's a fantastic memory there. Patrick, one of the things that I noticed that you've also been very dominant in over the last few years, last decades, has been something called the Indian Ocean Tournaments. Can you tell us a bit about the Indian Ocean Olympiad and the Indian Ocean Tournaments and who plays in it?
Yes. At the start of the 1980s, the Réunion Island, Réunion Island is a French department. It's French, but it's an island on the Indian Ocean where the French guys, there are some French players who play there. They used to come on holidays to Mauritius, and we used to have chess matches with them. Okay, so Mauritius and Réunion, they were almost our equal strength. Okay, and then there was a dynamic president of the Réunion Island Chess Federation called Fernand Santa Marina. He decided that we should hold a Indian Ocean Island Olympiad, like we say. So I think I have a booklet of this first chess Olympiad that declared in 1985. He invited
1985.
Yes, 1985. He invited Mauritius and Madagascar to compete, and there was 2 Réunion teams, and it's Réunion Island A team who won the competition. For my part, I was the 4th board, and I won the gold medal on the 4th board at this Olympiad. And this Olympiad was also held in 1994. Okay, and still the Réunion Island team won again, because Mauritius and Madagascar were just slightly behind them at the time, because this team, because don't forget that Réunion Island, they have the support of the French Federation, who are a much stronger federation than the islanders, the real islanders.
Yes, but Patrick, it seems as if your chess career has been a very long one, because being the junior champion in the early 80s, then the national champion in 89, up until 2016, you've been playing a lot. I mean, I saw you at the Olympiad in 2016, and then you were captain of the 2018 female team. How did it come about that you became the captain and coach of the women's team?
Yes, like I said, after playing my 10th Olympiad in Baku in 2016, I decided that to let I was just, without making much effort, I was qualifying easily in the Olympiad team, but in a sense, I was like preventing some top junior of an experience in the Olympiad, because I know that my chess career was almost over, because I would say that since 2006 I've stopped really learning chess. I was like just playing with what I've learned like 20 years ago, something like that. So if you don't have the passion to be a chess player, just the playing sense, I think you should give the place to someone else, a junior, top junior, who gets this experience to play in the Olympiads in your place. That's
Yes.
my take in it. So that's why I say when I finish with the 10th Olympiad 2016, I will convert myself as a coach. So I'm a coach. So
Yes.
my aim was, because Mauritius has never sent a women's team in the Olympiads, so I just take the challenge to prepare a group of girls for, I have said, between 3 and 6 months. It was just to participate. The participation was the key, not the results, I would say. So we managed to send a team at the Batumi Chess Olympiad in Georgia, and I think that we start, I think, to be the basis, so that of the women's chess, because women's chess is very, it has been sidelined for so long. We haven't, focus on giving the women's chess the role that it deserves. Now we say that no, we should give women's chess more spotlight, and that's why I have taken the task to help them to grow.
No, but we're glad that you were able to field the women's team at the Olympiad. And Patrick, one of the things that I noticed from your CV is that you are also involved in forex and foreign trading, and that you completed recently something with the University of Stellenbosch, the graduate school. Tell us a bit about that connection with the University of Stellenbosch.
Oh yes, because it's still another South African connection, I would say. I think I'm I work as I'm the FX manager at the Mauritius Commercial Bank, the biggest bank in Mauritius, and I'm a forex currency trader. And I think at the time the bank said that they wanted to upgrade all the managers of the organization by making them follow like a 6-month business management course in collaboration with the University of Stellenbosch, South Africa, one of the top universities of South Africa, I think. And so every month there were lecturers from South Africa who come, and a couple 2-3 days they lectured us like in university on business matters. There was a courses to be done. There was a group work to be done, and we graduated after 6 very hard months of training from the University of Stellenbosch lecturers. And so I'm very glad that my team just came first on this promotion, because we managed to give a very good project, about customer centricity in banking. And I think that I had to study what one of your banks, Capitec, one of the small banks who is making inroads against the big 4 banks of South Africa, against Absa. So Capitec rise to challenge these big 4. That was one of the thesis of the project also.
No, thanks. And that is a very important connection. Patrick, one of my last questions before I ask Calvin to read you some questions in the chat box. You assisted Mark Levitt when South Africa came back in 1992 by just telling him a bit about how the Olympiads work. Can you recall your conversations with Mark there in Manila?
Yes, because he just by chance, Mark was sitting next to me with another guy, I don't remember his name, and he was supposed to be the captain of the South African team. And it was the first Olympiad, I think, that South Africa was, reunited with FIDE, because
yes,
it was the election of the post-apartheid era. And then I told Mark, I had some experience in 1990 because it was my second Olympiad. 1990 I was in Novi Sad, 1990 in Manila, and that's how you should proceed as a team captain, the duties and everything you should do. And he was we had a very nice chat. He was saying that I was talking to him about the SCCP magazine, and he was telling me that maybe he would create another chess magazine for the South African zone, the Sub-Saharan zone. But unfortunately, I didn't hear much from this. This is one thing that really I remember about this South African connection.
No, but thank you very much. And I must just tell the viewers, Patrick, that in 1996, I spent the Olympiad with the Mauritian team and had lots of evenings playing blitz and having some beer thereafter and analyzing the games afterwards.
Yes. Chinosami told me about that, and they were very grateful and very your good humor, I would say, about yes.
No, we look forward to more engagement as well. I have some one or two more questions, but let's go back to Calvin. He's got one or two questions from the chat box. Calvin, back to you.
Okay, guys, so I'm back, and Lyndon, right now we don't have any questions from the chat box at the moment. We've got a couple of statements over here. We've got Dr. Queenie over here saying, hello, hi, Patrick. Always great to see you at the Olympiads, exclamation. So, so viewers out there, leave your questions. You know, the viewers tend to drop their questions late just after the time comes, and then they want to leave the questions. We will give some time maybe late on, during or after the analysis as well. So Lena, I think you can continue with your questions, and then we will actually encourage the viewers to drop the questions soon before we get to analysis.
Thank you, Calvin. Patrick, you've had a long experience being a junior champion in the early 80s. Now you're an arbiter. I saw that you became an arbiter in 2013, and then you became an organizer of a zonal in zone 4.3. How do you think we as the chess community worldwide can promote chess in a better manner or fashion?
Oh, yes. I think that, I have been able to be a player, to be an arbiter, international arbiter, and organizer also. So that gave me a very wide outlook of chess in general. And what I would say that I think that I see that the chess is not progressing, stagnating the image of the sport as well. I think that we should try a different method to try to popularize chess for me, but I haven't got the opportunity to talk with the FIDE officials during the Olympiads. But what I would say that I think that to popularize chess, the first thing we should do for FIDE is to invest in a chess TV channel. Okay, that should be a chess TV channel which will give. There will be grandmasters who will give free tuition on this channel. Okay, first thing. There will be report live of the top tournaments in the world. Okay, there will be some special spotlight on small countries. We have a story on each small countries of FIDE, and even when we are going to we have to do it just in a way that makes it interesting to the audience. I would say, if you are going to do a live reporting on Tilburg, you should maybe link with the Tilburg tourist organization to present the town as a touristic destination. It's just not just. just we are going to play in such a manner. We just try to promote this country, this town, these things where it's not purely chess. It's some combination of other things also, tourism and everything. So that's one thing. And for the education, I would say the training, someone you could get endings, you could get opening grandmasters coming and explaining to all kinds levels of players in this channel. Okay, that should be a 24-hour chess channel. That's one thing. The second thing is how to do it now. First, I would say that we should collaborate, with like Beat Sport, which is a big sports group. You say, okay, I will give you the Chess TV channel for free on your TV package for the first year. Okay, then you could attract maybe a general public that you would not get if you don't collaborate with this Bean Sport groups, which have so much sport. That's one thing. After 1 year, if you see there is demand for really the real demand for chess, then you could put a little subscription fee like €5 monthly. If I think that if Bean Sport is a worldwide sports group, if they have given this TV channel for free for all over the world, maybe you could even attract 100,000, 200,000 person, and at €5 you just get a revenue and income, and also to develop the channel, and also you have created interest. You have maybe got more and more subscribers and chess players also. That's one thing.
Yes.
I think that FIDE should do. They should invest in the first year, make the TV channel interesting. Yes, with the Bean Sport or whatever big sports group, and then give it for free for the first year, and then the second year. For me, another thing that one thing that I also talked with Geoffrey Borg, who was a former CEO of FIDE, Geoffrey Borg.
Geoffrey Borg, yeah.
Yes, he came to Mauritius once, and I told him, Geoffrey, the acid test, if you want to see how popular chess is, okay, if chess is commercially viable, if there's an audience for chess, it's not the World Championship that you can be the you can use to assess that. You should, for me, it's the Chess Olympiad. Okay, the Chess Olympiad. Let's say the Chess Olympiad, you have like 180 countries now. The open section and the women's section, you have around 130 matches per round.
Yeah.
You have 11 rounds. I think you should sell this package Olympiad at €10. You can view that live. Okay.
Yes.
This Chess Olympiad, because Chess Olympiad, for example, for a South African player, he wants to follow the games of the South African team. He will play the €15. He wants to follow. After that, he wants to do to follow the games of the neighbors from South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe, how they're doing. Then he can follow the top team, USA, Russia, China, India, and he can follow other things. So if this Chess Olympiad, and also Chess Olympiad, so many games are being played at the same time, you don't get bored. If you're paying for a World Championship, sometimes you take 1 hour to make the move. It's boring, But the Chess Olympiad, you get bored. You just move from games to game, from match to match.
Board to board. Yeah.
And for €10 for a package of 11 rounds live, I think it's interesting. People will pay for that. Then if you put this, you ask people to pay for that, then you will really know how many people commercially want to pay to view chess. You get an idea. I mean, it's 100,000 subscribers, 500,000. You see how if chess is viable. That
yes.
is the acid test to me. But Geoffrey told me that these Olympiads organizers sometimes they have invested like 5 to 10 million euros in the event. They don't want to get like even if they get 500,000 euros in receipts for the viewing of the chess, if you make it a paid event, they don't care about that. They want to get the biggest publicity. So that's why even for me, the Chess Olympiad, the acid test to see if chess is commercially viable as a spectator sport like football or anything. But the problem is that the organizers don't want to be responsible to test it.
Patrick, thank you very much. I've made a number of notes here that I'm going to come back to you about the Chess TV channel and the live reporting and the tourism. Calvin has indicated he's got one or two questions from the audience for us. But Patrick, thank you very much for those ideas. And it's something that we should certainly explore. Calvin, over to you.
Here we go. So I'm back, guys. Yeah, we do have a question here in the chat box. We've got more people in the chat box as well. So let's see what we have over here. So yeah, thank you to Chess Choppin for following as well. Welcome to the show. And thanks to ACL for raiding us over there. Shout out to Ruben Salimo and the ACL team. So let's see. We've got a question here from Dr. Queenie that says, Patrick, what has kept you motivated to remain an active chess player for so long, having to balance personal life and business careers as well? Thanks for the question, Dr. Queenie.
Yes, thank you very much for this question. I think that if I have been in chess for so long, I think that one, I've been passionate enough for the game. That's one, my passion for the game has not died. Even if as a player, like I told you, as a player, I think that it was game over for me since I would say 2006, because since that time, since 2006, I have become a lazy player because I've changed my repertoire to become a lazy player. I play the London system as white. The London system, you don't have to prepare anything. Any system. And yes. Now I see that even Carlsen is playing this.
Yes, he's making it worse for everybody.
Because they don't want people to prepare in the openings. They just want to know the strength of your play.
Yes,
that's one thing. But since 2000, as I have told Lyndon, in 2006, I have become the vice president of the Mauritius Federation. So my focus has shifted from being a player to become an organizer and to promote chess in the community. I would say I think that has kept me in, because I've changed roles. I became an arbiter. I've been arbiter in the 2015 World Championship. I've been arbiter to World Championship. I was first sent to see this young prodigy from India, Paraganadat, winning this section, and it was really very interesting. And also what kept me also on chess, also the books, my love for chess books. Even if now I don't have so much time to read as much as I would like, I can't resist to buy chess book when I get the opportunity in chess Olympiads or when I go to libraries around the world. So I think that this has kept me into chess. Also, a final reason I would say is that I think that chess has helped me in life. I mean that how I progress in my career and my decision making, and the strategic thinking that I have derived from chess has helped me professionally as well as personally. That's why I have like some depth with chess. That's why I stayed in chess.
Fantastic. Thanks, Patrick. And now we've got two more questions over here. Second question from Meg. Is Patrick, who is your favorite chess player?
That's a very interesting question. I am more like, I was born on 19th November, it's the birthday of Jose Raul Capablanca,
Okay.
That's the first book, The 100 Best Game of Capablanca by Harry Golombek was one of my favorite books. So I would say Capablanca and Karpov, because they have the same similar style, very easy to understand,
yes,
and very easy to replicate compared to Tal, Alekhine, and Kasparov.
Yes,
I think you can learn more from games of Capablanca and Karpov than from the other world champions. That's my opinion.
Fantastic. I love that answer. Thank you. And then third question comes from Monster Frick. Monster Frick says, good afternoon, Patrick. My question is, with over-the-board chess coaching and tournaments taking an unexpected knock this year due to the COVID-19, what did the Mauritius players and Chess Federation do to keep their players connected and positive? Did online chess also grow substantially in Mauritius?
You know, Mauritius has been a lucky country compared with the pandemic, because we have been in lockdown only for like 3 months, like from end of March to I think mid-May. So it was very short lockdown, and you know,
Okay.
since like 5 months we haven't got a real COVID case in the island. We got only case from repatriating citizens, you know, that we get them. But
Yes.
from the community, there was since I think more than 3-4 months that we have not got a single case of contamination. So
Wow.
chess activity has resumed, I think, in June. In June, we have started to start our tournaments, even beginners course, and so we haven't really been affected by the pandemic. So for us, the pandemic hasn't played a role to shift to the digital scene or something.
Wow, that's amazing to hear.
Yes, that's amazing. Yes, and we are very lucky and grateful
y-
for God's blessing, I would say.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so that's about it for the questions for now. So yeah, Lyndon, over to you. If you guys still have more questions, just leave it in the chat box. We will still do a bit of game analysis. But if you have any final questions, guys, just leave it in the chat box. Thanks to everybody for the questions thus far. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Lyndon. Over to you.
No, thank you very much, Calvin. And I'm going to have one or two more questions with Patrick, and then we're going to go over to the game. Patrick, I noticed that you were responsible for the Mauritian chess website. How did that come about, and how can the viewers go on to look at it?
Yes, you know, I when I when I when I quit high school, I started like a little journalism state career, like 2 3 years with a national newspaper in Mauritius. I was responsible for the music and the sports pages. So that gave me this journalism, you know, fever. I would say this. That's why I knew that we need to have a website to communicate with our viewers, not only locally but internationally. Okay, that's why I pushed to get this website, even it's not a very, very sophisticated website, just to get the news, to get some photos, and I write almost all the articles that are on the website. So it's very easy for me to do it, and I love to do it. This is something that I love to do, to writing, because I read much, and I have quite a extensive knowledge of the chess culture that I could like to share with readers, both locals and overseas.
Well, we are sure to go pop around
Yes, you
on
can
your
go. It's
website.
Mauritius Chess Federation. You can, there's the archives. You can check the archives. Don't forget the archives. Since we are here since 2013, so we are just 7 years of existence. There are lots of articles about the local chess community, and even my experience abroad. You can see. Instead of writing a book, I'm writing an experience on the website.
No, thanks, Patrick. Last question before we go to the game, Patrick, that you're going to show us. Tell us a bit about the Chess in Schools project that you were responsible for also.
Yes. Since 3 years, we got launched the Chess in School program. Okay. Then we got some sponsorship from the commercial bank. But unfortunately, now this program is a bit on hold because of the COVID. I know the sponsorship has been stopped because of the COVID. This has impacted all the businesses, all the commercial organizations. But still, we are very proud to have launched it because thanks to this program, we have, I think, added like plus 215 juniors to our, list of registered players. So we have more juniors in our as registered players and senior citizens. And when we organize junior tournaments, we can get up to 150 players. So that's fantastic for such a small island as Mauritius.
No, well done. Well done with that, Patrick, because that would mean that you guys would have a regular set of players that can come through the ranks to the African Championships as well, to the Olympiad team. But I think, Calvin, we are ready to look at the game that Patrick is going to show us tonight. And while Calvin is setting up the screen there, Patrick, maybe you just want to tell us against who this game was and where it was played. Calvin, you can go ahead to set up.
This game is another one of my South African connection again, because this is a South African program, I would say. And it was against one of your greatest players, I would say, Dr.Bouah.
Okay.
A friend of mine. And at the time, he was just returning from, I think he was trained in East Germany. I think he was really
in Germany, yes, that's correct.
Player. He participated for the first zonal in 1995 in Gaborone, Botswana. And I think he won the zonal to become an international master.
That's right. So, Patrick, thanks. Let's go on.
Okay, so guys, we are at the analysis board right now. It was a nice interview session. We do have one more question in the chat box. Maybe we can leave that for the end of the show. Yes. London, is that okay with that?
Yeah, that's okay. Let's get to the game, and then we'll have that last question there in the chat room.
All right, I'll actually just move Patrick's name a bit to the top so that it's not in his way over there. There we go. So I am ready for action. So shall we start with the game?
Please go ahead, Calvin.
Okay, right. So let's see. So E4, C5. Knight F3, D6. So, guys, we don't have as much time as we always have. So we're going to skip through certain stages a bit faster. But Patrick will stop us where the important moments are. First thing that I noticed about this game is, of course, G6 on the board. So, Patrick, are you a beloved dragon player or what? You love your dragon?
I would, if my memory is good, because it is a game which was played 25 years ago, in 1995.
Yes.
Okay. I think it was on this day there was a double round. I think that I lost the first round, either to Dion Solomons or Michelakis. I don't know, one South African player.
Okay.
So I was facing the leader, who was Dr.Bouah. So I would say, look, I was having like a headache. I would say I don't want to stay long on the chessboard, so I will use the sharpest line.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the story behind the game.
Okay, interesting.
So that's why I chose the dragon.
Okay, nice. I like it.
And I think, Calvin, for me, the dragon is also a nice fighting opening because the moves are not too difficult. And if you're a reasonable player, the dragon gives you chances for black as well.
Yes, because I think if you have read my 60 memorable games by Bobby Fischer,
yes,
book, there was dragon against Bert Larsen, I think.
Larsen
was saying that even amateurs were beating grandmasters with this opening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Let's do some more moves. These are standard positions in the dragon.
Right. So G6, pawn to F3, Bishop G7. I don't know, Patrick, do you mind reading out the moves so that we know where you are? So I prefer you actually.
I am back to the 14th move when we are.
All right.
Okay. So we're gonna get to the 14th move here. So Queen D2, castle, Bishop C4. So this is mainline dragon stuff. Bishop D7, long castle, Knight to E5, Bishop B3, Rook C8, H4, and knight to c4. There's of course another option, h5 as well, but we go in straight away with knight c4. Bishop takes, rook takes, and here we go. So white continues with the move h5. So it seems like a pawn sack. And yeah,
but it's a standard pawn sack. You know that what Patrick was talking about earlier, Calvin, was what Fischer said: sack and mate. So
Yes.
that's what Warte was going for in this case.
Of course.
Patrick, tell us about your next move.
Yes, I played this move, but if my memory was I saw this move. It was like some quite a new move at the time, Queen to B8. I don't think he played that because I saw it somewhere. Because when I used to study the dragon, that someone played was saying that this was an interesting move, Queen B8, you know, and that's why I say I will play a non-conformist move because I know that Watu knows everything about the dragon, about he's better than me and the Fury. That's why I should confuse him with this new move. I would say.
Very interesting stuff. I hope the viewers are listening to that.
But
very
interesting. It's good psychology.
Yes.
It's good psychology, I think, Calvin, as well, from Patrick's side, because he's taking the fight. He's playing something that's non-conformist, unorthodox. But Queen B8, pawn to B5, and Queen A5, those have become standard moves nowadays. But in 1995, people must remember the moves like Queen B8 was not as standard yet.
Yes, and King Ulster here in the chat box, he's the one with the question for the end of the show. But King Ulster also said here, the best form of defense is the dragon attack. Interesting. And he says, Patrick taking the fight to Watu. Thanks, King Ulster. And another note here by King Ulster, innovation and enterprising, Patrick, enterprising. So, okay, right. So Queen B8, very interesting stuff. Shall we continue?
Yes, please.
So Queen B8, pawn takes pawn. So white opens up the file. F takes. Knight D to E2. So white.
Calvin, just on that.
One thing I would like to point out, which revolves around the whole game.
Yes.
The most important piece for me, for black, is the knight F6. The F6 knight is a key piece. Watu will try to dislodge it from the F6. As long as this knight is an F6, it holds the position. That was the and if you cannot do that, then black is okay, I think.
So the knight on F6 holds H7 and the key basically.
H7 and I think and D5 also. It was a very important piece.
Very important, yes. Okay, so but this knight DE2 move, just by the way, it kind of you were talking about Karpov earlier. I'm a bit off topic here, but just to mention, I think I remember some Karpov game where Karpov actually played knight D to E2. It's not the most standard move in the dragon, but
this seems D5 against sacrifice under C3.
Yes,
that's important.
Okay.
The move was actually introduced in a game 1973, Karpov versus Korchnoi, and in fact, it was actually like a candidate's final because, as you all know, after Karpov beat Korchnoi, there was no match against Fischer.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. So that was a critical match. Okay, so knight D2 was played, and then you continued with B5. So it's a race to see who gets to who's king first. Bishop to H6. White is trying to get rid of this dangerous dragon bishop.
Standard.
Doubling up on the C file, so the pressure is mounting on the C file. Bishop takes. King takes G7. Thank you to KV Kranik for following.
Just wait. We can wait after D5. I would say that maybe that was the last chance for Watu to play knight D5.
So you say after pawn to B5.
The F6 to exchange the F6 knight.
So are you saying after pawn to B5, Patrick, then knight D5?
Yes.
Okay.
Knight D5 maybe should be played, I think.
Okay, trying to get rid of the critical F6 knight. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's why when he played bishop to H6, then I can play rook. I first double. I threaten rook F to C8.
Yes.
To threaten before. Okay.
Yes.
That's right. Then he takes, king takes, and he played queen to f6, king to f7, and played rook to d2 just to protect the c2.
Just to protect c2,
Okay?
yes.
But yes,
Yeah.
because also there was there could have been another tactics. e5, if I takes, rook takes, bishop d7, and then
so you're saying e5 instead of rook d2. Sorry, Patrick. Are you saying e5 instead of rook to d2?
Maybe
Yes,
e5
and then
also was something to consider, because
pawn
if
takes
I
pawn.
takes, you can sacrifice rook takes, rook takes d7, and then the knight takes d7, queen takes s7.
Ooh, yeah, that looks dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous because the king has no defenders.
Yes, so that's why it was revolving, and everything was revolving on the f6.
Yes,
f6 knight.
I see.
Maybe that was another chance that he missed.
Uh-huh.
Then he played I played bishop e6. Now I feel it's safe for me. I am a bit better, because even if he played knight to d5, I can exchange the bishop.
Yes.
Okay? Then he played f4.
Okay? F4, yes.
D4. I think that I am maybe winning now before. I think that time, because I don't know where the knight would go.
But the black pieces are all looking at the king on c1, and at the moment the king still has an escape on d7 in case the king gets under attack there. So at this stage, black seems to be a bit better in terms of the defense.
Yes. So when I played before, he moved the knight to d5, and I changed the knight. You see, bishop takes d5. Now he's obliged to play with the pawn, because the c2 was an attack.
Yes.
And so now the f6 is, it's safe. The knight to f6, my major defensive piece is, was safe. So that I think that now it's better for black.
Yeah, no, I like this, and that knight seems like it's worth more than 3 points right now. It's holding everything together, like you said. Patrick, we must your camera is moved slightly upwards. Can you just adjust it slightly? Oh, did you move? Oh, okay. There we go. Perfect. We've got you back in. Okay, so pawn takes d5. So how do we continue this attack?
We triple queen to c7.
Queen c7. Lot of pressure.
Triple. He has no. Now he can't play knight to d5, because I take the knight and he takes back and space on c2.
Let's show that to the viewers. Takes, and mate. Okay, so there's tactics in the air.
So the only move is c3.
Pawn to c3.
Okay.
Right.
I take.
Okay.
I take with a knight, and I sacrifice exchange.
So typical. Every Sicilian dragon player will love that. Seeing rook takes c3 on the board. Yes.
See, b takes and queen takes c3. Now, something very funny.
Yes.
Queen takes c3. Okay. I play queen to d1. I play queen to c1 check, and it comes queen to e2. It's false.
Yes.
And I was playing queen to c4. Now there was one of the players. I think it's Leonard Muller. Maybe you know him from Namibia.
From Namibia.
Yes.
He didn't. He was watching, and then he left. And he told me afterward, "Did you take the perpetual?" There was a perpetual, check, knight d1, and so. I said, "No, I didn't take the perpetual." He said, "Oh," he was surprised, because I was playing the top player, and he thought that I would be satisfied with a draw.
Yes.
With some people. I said no, because I think that I'm winning. So what I was saying, I didn't repeat the moves. I just play rook to b8. I think which should be winning.
Rook to b8, brilliant. Just including your last piece in the game. Now the queen and the rook beautifully penetrating over there. And the knight is also ready for a final blow, maybe if he has to.
Joining attack. So the only move was rook to c2, just covering so that he clear the d2 square for his king.
Yes.
Yes, rook to c2. Then I check. Okay. Forced to come queen to d2.
Yes.
King to d2, and I take queen takes d5, and I think I want to resign, because it's either he will lose a queen or he will get mated. in most combination. For example, he can't go on the dog square. He comes on e3. He gets fork, a warrior fork on g4. Knight g4.
Yeah.
Knight g4.
If he comes with king c3, it's mate. Knight e4 checkmate.
Whew. So the knight is every time the killer guy.
Yes,
beautiful.
Knight e4 checkmate. Now if he goes to e2, I take queen takes g2. He lose even a rook. You see?
Ooh, okay.
Queen takes s1, it's finished. And it's even made, you know. Even if he goes king to d3, I come queen to f3. Okay, he can't comes to d2 because it's knight to e4 checkmate again. He has to go up. Okay, when he goes to king to d4, I play rook to b4 check. He has to come rook to
c4.
c4. That's right. Okay, and then I can even check him here. Queen e4.
Queen e4 and everything drops. Yeah, no, I think what I can just say, okay, beautiful finish over there. And after king d2, these variations that you told us, the king goes to e3, knight g4 check, king goes to c3, knight e4, mate. It's beautiful to see that, you know, it's true what they say in chess. The threat is more powerful than the execution. This knight was just holding everything and he was just threatening to finish off the game.
Yep.
So I think that knight was worth 10 points in this game. Yeah, fantastic.
Well played, Patrick. And I think for me, this is the story of the knight, because the knight only made one move in the entire game, but just the mere fact that it was on the board was enough to scare the white player on that side. So, Patrick, well done on this fantastic game, and it's really one for the ages.
Beautiful stuff.
Thank you very much.
And now can I just give that final question over there, Lyndon, if that's okay, and then
yes, please give the final question to Patrick.
Yes, so one more statement here by King Ulster. By the way, King Ulster says beautiful, sharp, classical themed fight. Thanks, King Ulster. And then we have the question, let's see, where is it? Yes, also from King Ulster over here. So King Ulster is touching on a previous subject you guys were talking about. So this is from King Ulster. For Patrick, traditional media models still very challenging, and more so with online. Do you think it will be possible to keep the chess pure while using the e-gaming exposure to springboard the chess presence via dedicated channel?
You mean is it related to the question that I'm saying that we have to get a chess TV channel?
Yes, I think it's a link to that one, yes. So his question is, do you think it will be possible to keep the chess pure while using the e-gaming exposure to springboard the chess presence via the channel?
First, I would answer this differently. Yeah? First, I remember when we started playing chess in the 1980s. One of my chess mentors, his name was René Madio. He helped me to become a strong chess player because he had the biggest chess library in Mauritius. He had about 75 books and lots of magazines. He told me a story. He told me, you know, if you become a grandmaster in chess at the time, in the 1980s, it's like you have been doing a PhD, you know, a PhD research, this kind of level of work of research. Okay?
Yes.
With the rise of the computer, I think the learning curve has jumped. You know, people are being grandmasters 14 years old, 13 years old. This is with the help of the machines. You know that we have to agree with that. This has you know, raised the learning curve, but also it has just what we call, there's a charm to be a grandmaster. You know, it was so tough to become a grandmaster in the old ways. We have the use of computers, you know, that has a bit. It's like, you know, evolution. We can't say that it's we can't stop that. You know, we have to accept that. I mean that. But people who love just playing, like we say, a human opponent with its limitation, with its weakness. I think this will not. This will stay, because if we don't have this kind of this human against human competition. If we lose that, then we will lose a chess game. There will no interest because we're playing against machine, and it's no use to play just against machine. But we can't stop, I would say, change. We have to embrace change. I think, like we always say, that the machine will help us to better understand chess. But of course, like I say, we have lost some sort of the charm of the chess when we were just people against people. So that's that.
Okay, thank you so much for your answers over there, Patrick, and thanks everybody for the questions. I'm just gonna switch back over to the library side because we do have one or two things just to talk about, but we at the end of our session more or less. Yeah, I'm back on over here as well. So yeah. One last statement here by Dr. Queenie in the chat box says, good game. Thank you, Patrick. It was nice listening to your experiences and views. Thank you so much, Dr. Queenie, for your statement over there. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to you, Patrick. I'm very happy to have had you on the show. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence and for showing us and sharing so much of your experience and knowledge. And once again, thanks to you, London, for also hosting everything over here. So yeah, it has been a very pleasurable.
Thank you, Calvin and Patrick, from my side. Thank you very much for all you've done for Mauritian chess and also for South African and African chess, because you've staged zonals there. You've also participated in many zonals representing Mauritius and also at the Olympiads. So thank you very much for keeping the flag of African chess flying. And just to tell you that Dr. Queenie is Dr. Denise Bouah, that you may also know as well. That's her that was enjoying your comments and your game. So Patrick, from my side and the viewers, thank you very much for your honesty and your candor with which you expressed your views tonight. So Patrick, any last words from yourself?
It was very, I thank Calvin for this program, because it gives, we are not people who will be in the news for chess things. It gives people simple, like who from diverse federation in Africa, the opportunity to share our views, our insights about chess. And I think this should be encouraged. And I think it's a great program that should be encouraged and followed around Africa.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And you enjoy the evening. I know that it's a bit later there by you than here by us, but thank you very much, Patrick, and do enjoy the day tomorrow.
Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. And London, who do we have on next week?
Yes, next week we have Keith Rust from KwaZulu-Natal. He has also been in chess, South African chess, for a long time, and it will be interesting to chat with Keith about his recollections, memories, games, as well as his views on various things in chess. So that will be Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, and that would be Mr. Keith Rust.
Okay, there we have it, guys. So thanks again for everybody for tuning in. If you haven't yet, press the follow button and follow this channel. Thanks to Patrick and London for the evening. Thanks to everybody for your questions. Thank you, guys, and cheers. Enjoy your evening.
Right, see you, Calvin. See you, Patrick. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.